Pull it up. This is from CBS Boston. And it says, a Boston hospital says it won't consider performing a heart transplant on a patient who refuses to get vaccinated against COVID-19. DJ Ferguson, 31 years old, is fighting for his life at Brigham and Women's Hospital and in a desperate need of a heart transplant. His father, David Ferguson, is speaking out passionately on behalf of his son, who he told CBS Boston, quote, has gone to the edge of death to stick to his guns, and he's been pushed to the limit. DJ's family says he was at the front of the line to receive a transplant, but the hospital policy stipulates that he's no longer eligible because he hasn't received the vaccination. Dr. Arthur Kaplan, the head of medical ethics at NYU Grossman School of Medicine, explains that being vaccinated is necessary for this type of procedure. Quote, post any transplant, kidney, heart, whatever, your immune system is shut off, Kaplan said. The flu could kill you. A cold could kill you. COVID could kill you. The organs are scarce, and we're not going to distribute them to someone who has a poor chance of living when others who are vaccinated have a better chance post-surgery of surviving. What do you think about this?
I mean, it's a complicated subject, isn't it? So, question, was this guy like, I'd rather die than get the vaccine? When they were like, you need to get vaccinated to get the heart?
He might not have said that, but if he chooses not to get vaccinated, the hospital's not going to give him the heart. So he's ultimately, with his actions, saying, I'd rather be 6 feet in the ground than get the vaccine.
I mean, this is like not the first story that I've heard from, like, there was this other story in France, which was a bit different, where there was like these fake, well, actually, was it in France? I can't remember. There was like those fake vaccine cards and stuff going around. And
yeah, I bought one.
And this woman had like terrible symptoms from COVID and said that she was vaccinated, showing a vaccine card, etc. So she was treated as if she was vaccinated, and she got worse and until the very last minute, she would not say that she was unvaccinated. And eventually she admitted it. And even her husband, I think, was lying, etc. So she ended up dying because she was not truthful about her vaccination status. So I think there's a lot of complicated things around vaccination. And, you know, to side with the hospital in part in this, during COVID, it's been like a war, especially at the beginning, where they said, you know, they had to make decisions, you know, like with ICUs being filled, you know, they had to decide kind of like who was more worthy to live than someone else. And in case of heart transplant, you know, there's limited hearts. And I'm sure the person that was right after him was also in really, really high need of a heart transplant. So the fact that there's someone that will, after getting the heart, will be so easily exposed to COVID and at risk of dying, I can see why they're like, you know, there's a good chance that you'll die in the next few weeks if you're not vaccinated. So we'd rather give it to someone who's vaccinated. So I do think it's a legit reason. But at the same time, I'm also a bit divided because everybody should have access. Even though I do think everybody should get vaccinated, everyone should be able to get access to medical care. So I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Here's what I think. I think this guy's family should call the software installer guy from the Am I the Asshole post.
Yes.
And then have him hack into this guy's phone who needs the heart transplant. Will put not only give him a fake vaccine card, but a fake vaccine passport on the app on his phone. And then he'll be able to get the surgery without having to get vaccinated. That's what I think.
I can't tell if you're joking.
And I mean, here's what I really think. This guy isn't going to know if he gets the vaccine, because your symptoms of having a heart transplant obviously far outweigh your symptoms of the vaccine, feeling like shit the next day. If you get your chest cut open, you're not going to be like, oh, my arm feels a little bit sore, because you'll be too distracted by
my heart feels
seam down your chest. You're like, oh. it's like if you stub your toe and if someone shoots you in the stomach and you stub your toe as you're falling, you're not going to be like, oh, my toe, like that's going to hurt. The vaccine would be like that. And this guy wouldn't even notice. So what I legitimately would say to the doctors, if I was this guy's brother or just family member, I would say, listen, I know you have the rules that he has to consent to the vaccine in order to get the vaccine, in order to get the heart transplant, but just put him into surgery, give him the vaccine, and then do the transplant.
Well, you can't do that right away because it takes 7 days for the first, I think the first dose might be 2 weeks to act, and then you need to wait 3 weeks, a month to get the second dose. So it takes a process. I mean, they could still partly vaccinate him. What I think they should do, his family would be like, stop being an idiot, whatever the reason it is, just get the vaccine or else you're going to die. If it's because you think you're going to get 5G, do you revert 5G or would you rather die? And, if you'd rather die, then maybe, yes, indeed, the heart should go to someone who wants to live more than get a vaccine. So I don't know, maybe it's controversial what I'm saying, but as much as, like I said, I do believe that healthcare should be provided to everyone. I do also understand the point of view of the hospital. And if you're being given this great gift that is a second chance at life, then do it right. Don't jam up your chances to actually survive and live, because there's someone else after you that might die that you would have just their chance to get.
No, I get the hospital's point of view. It's not really a COVID vaccine thing. It's just a vaccine. It's a vaccine policy in general where they don't want to waste a heart. They don't want to give a heart to a guy and then a month later he's dead from COVID, where they could have given it to some other guy or girl and they're vaccinated and they use the heart for another 20, 30 years or whatever. So I get it from that standpoint. I think if you're this guy's family member, he obviously he cares about not wanting the vaccine, so you have to find something that he cares about more than being against the vaccine. No, well, care about more than being against the vaccine. So if this guy loves Big Macs and he's just planning on saying, fuck it, I'm not going to get the vaccine and I'm just going to get McDonald's, eat a Big Mac every day until I die, and that'll be my life. You have to take the Big Macs away and say, listen, you're not going to get the vaccine, but you're also not getting anything else. So if you want that thing that you love more than hating the vaccine, then this guy might change his mind if he's not able to. Because when you're at the end of your life, you have everything's simplified for you. You're in a hospital. You can only get a certain number of things. So as this guy's family, you can't force him to get the vaccine, but you could refuse to bring him other stuff. You could say, listen, we're not gonna die. If you're gonna die like an idiot, you know. But also this guy's family could agree with him. You don't know. So maybe they're fuck the vaccine.
Here's the thing is, a lot of people, everyone has principles. But the strength of those principles aren't as strong with everyone. Proof is, you make restrictions worse, a lot more people get vaccinated, because at some point you're like, well, I want to live my life. And, even I'm technically a vegetarian, but, every now and then I bend my... what was the word I was using?
You bend your rules.
Bend my rules. So so I feel like it could be applicable. And honestly, I feel like living or dying should be really the ultimate decision thing. So
for some people, apparently not.
Well, then, like I said, as horrible as it is, that means that you don't want to live that bad. And maybe that heart should go to someone who really wants to live.
So you break the rules occasionally as a vegetarian. You're vegetarian-ish.
Yes.
And you have a burger every once in a while.
Well, no, actually, I've not had cow meat in years. So.
Well, you have meat every once in a while.
Well, I've had a little chicken every now and then.
So if this guy loves Big Macs, you can boost the Big Mac with Pfizer. Have him eat the Big Mac.
There you go.
And then he has no idea.
Be like, you give him a needle and be like, that's Big Mac juice for you.
Honestly, if I was a doctor, honestly, if this guy started if if you're a normal person and you don't have any health problems and you don't want to get the vaccine, fine. Like, the information is out there. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. And depending on what state or country you live in, you may be able to do a lot. You may be able to do almost nothing at all. But if I'm the doctor and I know this guy is dying in a week if he doesn't get a heart, as soon as this guy opened his mouth and started saying, like, well, you know, they say the vaccine can take over your brain, I would just jab him in the throat with Pfizer and be like, shut the fuck up. You're taking the vaccine. Actually, here's another one, getting both doses out of the way the same day.
Here's
I'll
a
see
third.
you back here in 2 weeks. Yeah, here's a third for being a little bitch. I'm injecting it into your heart. That's going to fail anyway, but now you're going to get a new one because you stopped being a pussy and you started taking Pfizer. And that is why we need to make America great again, because we're going to start jabbing people with vaccines. The doctor, you know, that is the way that you get people on board. I'm not saying this guy is a Republican, but there are a lot of Republicans that don't like the vaccine. So you use his thinking against him, and you bring people together with Make America Great Again. Get vaxxed. Boom. You have a heart now.
No,
You're
you
going to
know,
see your family.